Hello guys, and as I record this video, Ukrainian drones control the skies above Moscow, the capital of the Russian Federation, with 4 of their airports closed. And today we've also managed to destroy 2 more Russian combat helicopters deep inside the Russian Ria in Orlov region on a military air base that Russians failed to protect. But perhaps the most important update is from Udmurtiya, 1,500 kilometers away from the Ukrainian border, and Ukrainian-made Flamingo missiles destroyed the production site of kinzhal missiles and some components for oreshnik. Nowhere in Russia is safe. This is perhaps the most important change in the course of this extremely exhausting war. But with each day, Ukraine is getting more experienced and strong, and Russia poorer and weaker. So now is not the time to appease Putin, now is the time to defeat and demilitarize Russia, and that's exactly what we are working on. Subscribe to witness that together. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and I'm always proud to share this news with you because unfortunately many international media and YouTube channels are still too Moscow centered and they do not see what is happening inside Russia. Why? Because they keep blocking this information together with Telegram channels. Trust me, that's not the sign of the Kremlin's success. But let's begin with this most new update from the Russian capital. Again, this happens literally every week. Ukrainian drones control the skies above the Russian capital. If Putin heard such news back in 2022, I'm sure he wouldn't have believed his ears. But now lots of Russian ears hear sounds of air raid alerts, understand that more flights are cancelled, and today 4 of their airports did not work. I'm talking about Domodedovo, Vnukovo, Zhukovskiy and Sheremetyevo. Oh my god, I already remember these names together with the name of the Moscow mayor Sobyanin. Not that I wanted this, but he keeps whining online about the need to protect the Russian capital, the explosions that are constantly heard everywhere. And that's exactly what Russians wanted when back in 2022 they all supported the idea of war. Now they have to feel it on their own territory. And honestly, this is the fact that we rarely hear discussed on big channels during the negotiations, and everyone is pretending that it's just Ukraine that has some problems. We do. They attacked Kyiv, they keep destroying our infrastructure, but during these 4 years, we evolved. We did not become weaker. We became stronger. And now Russia loses more and more, beginning with that very important fact that right now we manage to demilitarize more Russian soldiers per month than they managed to conscript. And thumbs up for that. So right now, Moscow is a no-fly zone together with other Russian regions that I'm not concentrating my attention on just because it is no news. What is important to speak about too is the destruction of 2 more Russian combat helicopters, Mi-8 and Ka-52. They were targeted by the Ukrainian long-range drones in Orlov region of the Russian Federation while they were standing on a military air base. And this demonstrates us 2 very important facts. Number 1. Long-range drones are super effective, and that is exactly why you need Ukraine as your ally. We are very grateful to all the countries, all the armies, and all the ordinary, extraordinary people who stand together with us against this evil, who do not hide from the truth. But at the same time, once again, during these 4 years, Ukraine turned into an asset. We are not a burden anymore. We are the only country who stands for the so-called Western values and knows the 21st century warfare, knows how to defend its territories with drones or how to demilitarize the enemy. And that's exactly what happened deep inside the Russian Ria in Orlov region with Russian combat helicopters. But even a more important event took place way deeper the Russian Ria in Udmurtia. Something that is honestly surprising even to me, an extremely supportive Ukrainian, because according to the official sources, Ukrainian-made Flamingo missiles reached more than 1,500 kilometers deep inside the Russian Ria. That is very far away from the front lines in Russia, because now there are front lines in Russia. This is even more far away from the border with Ukraine. And the fact that in Ukraine, during war, with constant electricity outages, attacks, and many, many dangers, with the feelings that we have to experience on a daily basis, we managed to build such missiles that potentially outperform many of NATO analogs. This is very promising. And we targeted one of the main Russian military production sites. That's why it was actually hidden that deep inside the Russian Ria. That was an old habit of Moscow, known since the times, perhaps even of the Russian Empire and definitely of the Soviet Union, when they hid their production sites, important military objects far from the border with some Western countries, which were traditionally treated as enemies. And for example, during the Second World War, it protected the production sites. But now, in the 21st century war, Russian size plays against it, making it more vulnerable. Now they prioritize Putin's bunkers and the front lines in Russia and Ukraine. But they cannot protect such sites, and not only Ukrainian long-range drones, but missiles that we managed to produce under such pressure, in such context, are targeting this extremely important production site. So what is that? That is a military factory in Udmurtia that produces kinzhal missiles, and every Ukrainian knows them, this name, because they terrorize us with them. And trust me, learning that it's not just one or two missiles destroyed, not just an aircraft, which is already very good, not just an arsenal or a stockpile of these missiles, but a production site. This again means a lot of innocent lives saved. And also there they produce some details for oreshnik that they constantly use to frighten the world, to demonstrate Russia's strengths, when in reality they demonstrate their failures, their inability to achieve their set military goals, and the need to use old Soviet crap renamed to make it look new, and hoping that people will simply be afraid of this fake Russia's image, when Ukrainian long-range drones, Ukrainian Flamingo missiles, and more to come. We are working on the Ukrainian ballistics, and trust me, this will change the course of the war even more. But with all these arsenal, we constantly expose Russia's weakness. And that's why Russian vloggers are actually shouting, are actually crying, asking the Kremlin to hear them, hoping there is still time to prevent the total collapse of the Russian Federation, and Putin in return turns off Telegram to help hide the truth, to prevent people from organizing protests. And believe me, the 2026 will bring a lot of problems to Putin, and I believe you need to subscribe to join our community to witness that together. And also follow me on Anna Danilchuk and X, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, Discord, and of course Substack for a weekly newsletter. We have a merch shop link in the description of this video, where lots of good products turn you into the ambassadors of Ukraine. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channels, but most importantly, thank you for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!